Manang, also called Manangba, Mananj, Manang K, Naisheng, Naishangte, and Naishingba is a Sino-Tibetan language spoken in Nepal. Native speakers refer to the language as Yesha, meaning, our language. It is one of half a dozen languages in the Tamangic branch of the Sino-Tibetan family. Manang and its most closely related languages are often written as Tgtm in literature, referring to Tamang, Gurung, Thakali, and Manangba, due to the high degree of similarity in the linguistic characteristics of the languages. The language is unwritten and almost solely spoken within the Manang district, leading it to be classified as threatened, with the number of speakers continuing to decline. Suspected reasons for the decline include parents not passing down the language to their children, in order to allow for what they see as more advanced communication with other groups of people, and thus gain more opportunities. Due to the proximity of the district to Tibet, as well as various globally widespread languages being introduced into the area, use of the native language is declining in favor of new languages, which are perceived to aid in the advancement of the people and region. Varieties. In the Manang Languages Project, Hildebrandt, et al., list 4 varieties of Manang. Manang, Nar Fu, Gyasumdo, Naishing T. Classification. The classification system of the language often varies throughout the literature, and multiple terms are often used to describe the same language family. The Tamangic branch is referenced as Western Bodish by some scholars. Although the existence of the Sino-Tibetan family is agreed upon, it is here that the breakdown can vary. Whereas some refer to the next subfamily as simply Tamangic, others have a slightly longer classification system. In this, Sino-Tibetan, or Tibeto-Burman, is broken down into northeastern India, western, southeastern, and northeastern. The western group further breaks down into Bodic and Himalayan, each of which has its own subgroups, with Western Bodish being one of the 4 Bodic subgroups. Phonology. There are 29 consonants in Manang, which are summarized in the table below. The contrastive status of the consonants in parentheses is questionable, as they are rare idiosyncratic in distribution. Vowels. There are 6 oral vowels and 5 nasalized vowels, which contrast with the oral vowels. Length is emergent and not phonemic. Tone. Manangba, along with the related Tamangic languages, is semi-tonal and reliant on the pitch of the speaker. There are 4 distinct tones in the Tgtm sub-family, each of which differs by the overall pitch, as well as how breathy the sound is. Using a rating of 1 to 5, which correlates to low to high pitch respectively, the beginning and ending sound of every monosyllabic Manang word can be rated in order to determine whether the speaker increases or decreases the pitch, as well as breathiness. Of the 4 tones, the first stays consistently mid-level throughout the entire word, whereas the second tonal type starts at a 4 and increases in pitch to a 5. The third and fourth types decrease from the start to finish of the word, although tone 3 is higher pitched overall. The 4-tone classification is used for every related language, although the exact pitch levels can vary between them. For example, tone 3 in Manang is high-pitched and clear, as discussed above, while tone 3 of Gurung is low and breathy. Essentially, every one of these languages has 4 potential tones in their words, but the exact pitch and clarity of each varies between languages. Words can have the same basic pronunciation, with the only difference being the pitch, making it possible to misinterpret words that have drastically different meanings. It is believed that a 2-tone system may have created the original makeup of these languages, although the original tones used are still unclear. Syllables. The structure of syllables is represented as C1, C2, V, C3, with C1-3 corresponding to 3 consonants, and the V representing the vowel. Native speakers tend to agree that the most emphasis is placed on the first syllable of a word. Vowels present in the first syllable of words are held slightly longer than if located later in the word. However, from the minimal field research carried out, there is often not a distinguishable difference between syllable emphasis, and exceptions are also present. Terms that are exceptions often show stress on the last syllable, have vowels held longer on the second syllable, or both. Examples of exceptions include the Manang words for enemy, insect, forehead, button, graveyard, and leg. Nouns. Nouns do not identify gender, or whether something is inanimate or alive. Rather, there are completely separate words to identify men from women, and girls from boys. The most common way of making nouns plural is by adding "ze" to the end. As with English, there are some exceptions, and the entire form of the word may change rather than having an ending attached. The structure of compound nouns varies. One interesting compound structural type is where the leftmost word gives additional meaning to the word on the right. For example, the word family meaning Cohen breaks down into fe meaning metal and mwi meaning money. The money is being described as metallic, making it known that the currency is in coin form rather than a paper bill. Status. The status of this language is currently rated as a 6B according to the Ethnologue rating system, classifying it as threatened. While the language is able to be spoken by older generations, and continuing to be passed on to newer ones, the rate at which it is being taught is sharply declining. The Nepalese Revolution of 1990 allowed for more freedom of languages, so identifying with a native ancestral language was of great importance to many. In reality, however, fewer people actually spoke the languages they claimed to, leading to exaggerated speaker numbers being listed. Despite the relatively small number of speakers, allowing the language to die out entirely will be detrimental to the world as a whole. Even the least spoken languages hold stories, traditions, and potentially useful knowledge of the world, which will be lost if the language is gone. The endangered status of Manang means that researchers should attempt to collect as much detailed documentation and audio recordings now, before the language is potentially lost. References. Bibliography. Carol Giannetti 2008. Syntactic Aspects of Nominalization in 5 Tibeto-Burman Languages of the Himalayan Area. Linguistics of the Tibeto-Burman Area, 31-97-143. Christine A. Hildebrandt 2005. A Phonetic Analysis of Manange Segmental and Suprasegmental Properties. Linguistics of the Tibeto-Burman Area, 28-1-36. Michael Mullock 1997. Credit Relations in Nepal, a Preliminary Report on the Katsara and Manange Kidu Systems. Nepalese Studies, 24-201-215. Michael Noonan 2007. Nominalizers in Tamangic Languages. Presented at the International Workshop on Nominalizers and Copulas in East Asian and Neighboring Languages, Hong Kong, China, January. Stan Mumford 1989. Himalayan Dialogue, Tibetan Lamas and Gurung Shamans in Nepal. Madison, The University of Wisconsin Press. Nareshwar Jang Gurung 1976. An Introduction to the Socio-Economic Structure of Manang District. Kalash 4-295-308. Nishi Shi, Yoshio Yi Lang 1992F. Manan Yu. Manang. In Gui Jing Kami, Xiao Takashi, Heiyi Kono, Lulang Rokuro, Qian Yi Chino, Rong Yi Aichi. San Sheng Tang Yan Yu Zai Da Si Dian. The Sanseido Encyclopedia of Linguistics in Japanese, 4. Tokyo, San Sheng Tang Sanseido Press. pp. 103b-111a. ISBN 43851522128. Christine A. Hildebrandt, D.N. Dockel, Oliver Bond, Matt Vallejo and Andrea Fife, 2015. A Sociolinguistic Survey of the Languages of Manang, Nepal, Coexistence and Endangerment, NFDIN Journal, 14.6, 104-122. Christine A. Hildebrandt, 2004. A Grammar and Dictionary of the Manange Language. In Tibeto-Burman Languages of Nepal, Manange and Sherpa, edited by Carol Giannetti, 2-189. Canberra, Pacific Linguistics. Christine A. Hildebrandt, 2013. Menage, South Asia, A Language Sketch, in How Languages Work, edited by Carol Giannetti, 404-423. UK, Cambridge University Press. Christine A. Hildebrandt, 2009. Loanwords in Menage, a Tibeto-Burman language of Nepal, in Loanwords in the World's Languages, edited by Martin Haspelmuth and Uri Tadmor, 447-470. Berlin, Mouton de Gruyter. Christine A. Hildebrandt, 2007. Tone in Tibeto-Burman Languages, Typological and Sociolinguistic Approaches, in New Trends in Typology, Young Typologists' Contributions to Linguistic Theory, edited by Matti Mayastamo and Bernhard Walchley, 67-90. Berlin, Mouton de Gruyter. Christine A. Hildebrandt, 2007. Menage, in Grammatical Borrowing in Cross-Linguistic Perspective, edited by Yaron Matras and Jeanette Sackel, 283-300. Berlin, Mouton de Gruyter. Carol Giannetti and Christine A. Hildebrandt, 2004. The Two Adjective Classes in Menage, in Adjective Classes, edited by R.M.W. Dixon and A.Y. Eichenwald, 74-96. Oxford University Press. External links. Endangered Languages Project, Menang Language Project of Christine A. Hildebrandt, Menang Language Archive at the University of Virginia, Tibetan and Himalayan Library, ELAR Archive of Preliminary Documentation and Description of Gyasumdo.